Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and today is Thursday, which means it's viewer question and answer day. Today's question is about how to prepare for a Skype interview. Now, a while back, I did another video you can find right here on preparing for a telephone interview. Now, the Skype interview is going to be very similar, with the key difference, of course, being that the interviewer and the interviewee can see each other. Now, my first tip on preparing for your Skype interview is to test your equipment. So you want to make sure that your webcam and the microphone actually works. You can do this through the Skype system itself, or another way to do this is to test it out with a friend. Your friend will be able to tell you if your equipment is working up to par. The second thing you can do, and you should do this while you're testing your equipment, is to look at the background of your surroundings. So when you're looking in your camera, or when your friend is, looking at you through the Skype system, just see whatever is in the frame, that it's all sort of neat and tidy, and you don't have, piles of laundry in a corner somewhere or whatever. So just, really be mindful of what the background looks like, because the interviewer will be able to see that as well. The third thing to look for is lighting. So you have to be really careful about your lighting. So as I just mentioned about the background, one really important thing to know is that if you sit with a window at your back and there's a lot of light coming in through the window, we're now coming into the summer months here in the northern hemisphere, so the days are longer, you may actually have light flooding in from behind you. If that's the case, then what's going to happen is it's going to create a big shadow, and it's going to be really difficult to see you. So the best thing to do is to reposition yourself so that you're either facing the window and the light is pouring on you, or go into a room where you don't have, sort of the window right behind you. In addition to that, with regard to your lighting, make sure that you do have ample amount of light coming in towards your face. So as I do these videos twice a week, I actually have a lamp that's directly behind my camera, and it's pointing in my face. So I'm usually kind of blinded even sometimes after I finish shooting. But just to give you an idea of what it may look like when I don't have this light on, it may be a little bit easier on my eyes. It's probably not very great for viewing, so I'm going to turn it back on again. So we can see the big difference when we're making sure that we have ample light that's shining on us. And again, when you're testing your equipment with your friend, this might be one of those checklist items that you can make sure that you're checking off your list. So related to the background and the lighting, you want to also be mindful of what is in the frame. So as I'm looking into the camera now, but as I look into my viewfinder, I can see that there's enough space around me. So that's something you want to watch out for, is that your camera, so if you're using, say, the webcam on your computer, that you don't have your computer too low or too high. So again, I'm going to actually move my camera. This is not a webcam that I'm using, this is my actual camera. But if I move it up, well, it's getting in the way of the light and you're looking down on me. And if I move it down too low, then you are looking up my nose. Not a good angle. So I put my camera sort of on a bit of a pedestal in front of me so that it's at eye length. So make sure that when you are setting up your space for your Skype interview, that you have your webcam in a position where you're not too high or not too low inside the frame itself. Number 5 on my list is make sure that you are dressed appropriately for the interview. I would recommend being fully prepared and to get yourself into that sort of interview zone to wear a suit, but that's entirely up to you. The most important bit is that you have an appropriate sort of top or blazer on, and that you are well groomed as well. Number 6 is look into the camera. So something that can be a little bit weird at first is when you're looking into a webcam and when you're doing something on Skype, it's to look at the image of the person you're speaking with. But when you do that, the impression on the camera is that you're not actually looking at the person. So as an example, I look directly into my camera lens when I'm doing my videos for you guys. If I were to look at my own image, then my eyes would go over here. and it doesn't look like I'm speaking with anybody. It just looks like I'm speaking somewhere else, but I'm seeing myself in my viewfinder. So I'm going to stop doing that because I'm sure it's rather distracting. But again, this is where, if you're working with a friend who can help you over Skype to sort of give you an idea of where your eyes are when you're looking into the camera. Tip number 7 is you can actually have your cheat sheet and other notes about the organization on your computer. You can easily minimize the Skype screen, just like you would minimize any other window that you're working with, and have your notes on your computer screen. The trick here is being able to refer to your notes, especially if they're in bullet point. It's probably the easiest way to do this. And just glancing at your notes from time to time, maybe taking a quick peek, without really breaking too much of that virtual eye contact or looking into the lens of your webcam. An alternate to this would be to use sticky notes, and you can paste them sort of around your monitor and just in bullet point form. One thing to note though, if you are going to use your computer screen itself for the notes that you're taking or the notes that you're referring back to, it's probably a good idea to have an external mouse and keyboard if you're using your laptop. The reason being is that if you're trying to manipulate any of the windows on your laptop while you're on Skype, it's going to show, right? So your arms are probably going to be up here somewhere, or they're going to be moving around. If you have an external keyboard or mouse, you can sort of keep your arms somewhat steady looking so you don't look like you're fidgeting around too much. And this leads me to tip number 8. During any interview, a lot of times you're going to want to take some notes anyway. If there's questions that come to mind through the interview or any other insight that the interviewer is giving you, you may want to take notes. So it's up to you entirely if you want to type out your notes or if you want to write them in a notepad. But either way, just make sure that you make mention of this to the interviewer, because if they're really only able to see you from, say, shoulder up, it's going to look like you're fidgeting about. So just, or if you're typing while you're speaking with the interviewer, of course that's going to cause a bit of a racket. So just make sure that you make mention to the interviewer that you're going to be taking notes and ask them if they're okay with that. Tip number 9 is remove distractions. So the nice thing with your Skype interview is that likely it will be already pre-arranged, so you'll know what time and day you're going to have your Skype interview. Make sure that you set aside the time so that you don't have any distractions at home. Make sure that if you are having your Skype interview at home, that you're setting aside a quiet space in your home to be able to do this. Tip number 10 is to relax and really enjoy the experience. The nice thing about this Skype interview is that you're able to see the reactions of the people with whom you're interviewing, which you wouldn't really have the benefit of on a telephone interview, but at the same time, you're going to be on home turf. So really take advantage of that, and it should help you to remain calm through your interview so that you can put your best foot forward and hopefully nail the job. Thank you guys so much for watching and for your great questions. Please do keep them coming. If you have any questions or would like to collaborate or have any video ideas, please do reach out to me. You can contact me on email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever works for you. For personalized advice, of course, come on over to my website. I'd be happy to help. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And until next time, happy hunting.